It's it's me. It's your girl, Diana. You might have noticed by the title, I am a little bit late for something. I'm not like late. Obviously, I'd be there if I was actually late for something, but I'm running late when it comes to getting ready for something. So forgive me for a sec. I'm gonna be doing my makeup while we talk. Today, I do want to talk about, well, two things. First of all, my hair is new. You can applaud whenever you want to. I just got back from the hairstylist, and so we did a little bit of a trim. We did a little bit of coloring. We're trying to get it back to like a silvery sort of like whiteness in the front, as opposed to blonde. It kind of got a little uneven. You can see it's more gray in some areas and more yellow in others, but it's mostly because we can only like it's been bleached so many times. We can only bleach it so many more times before my hair rebels and just chokes me out. And so we're that's part one. Part two, hi NW Happy, is the fact that Gen Con is next week, which means now is a good time to chat over all of the convention tips that you guys have had, convention memories that you guys have, anything to do with conventions, all your tips and tricks. I too will be sharing tips and tricks, and that's actually going to be the subject of my next long form video, which should hopefully be posted on Monday because I'm flying out Tuesday and there's no shot I'm uploading a video on hotel Wi-Fi. So if anyone's going too, please say hi. I would always love to keep an eye out for people, and hopefully, again, if you catch me in the wild, like not outside of a panel, preferably, or anything like that, like don't corner me after I'm just done talking to a crowd full of people for an hour, because that tends to make me nervous, and also it's too easy. But if you find me at random, like wandering around the halls of the con, please come say hi. I might have something for you. Might have a little gift. Anyway, yeah, if you're going, definitely let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I can definitely tell you. I mean, if there's anyone who's going for the first time, also definitely let me know. I do have some tips and tricks. I have some advice for people. Gen Con was my first ever convention back in 2023. It's the first thing I ever did. The first real foray I ever had into being a content creator, and like being able to go there and say hi to people and get recognized as well was insane. So I since then learned a lot over the past 2 years. The first tip, of course, is always to bring like water and comfy shoes, because my god, is it so much standing and walking. Especially Gen Con, there's not a lot of places to sit down, unless you go over to one of the free play tables, but if you do that, you have to be playing a game. You can't just chill, at least not really, so I definitely recommend grabbing, like, I don't know, I always wear Converse. I also am a dumbass who wears heels to cons, so maybe don't do that, but something that's cozy, comfy. I would even, something that's the same comfort level as like hiking shoes, because that's how much walking you're going to be doing over the course of the convention. That's what I would say is the best thing to bring. I would also say dress for the weather, and the only reason I specifically say that is because I fucking forget to dress for the weather consistently. I don't think I've ever dressed for weather. I'm the type of person who would go to like Philadelphia in the middle of winter time for PAX Unplugged and fully forget to bring any sort of rain gear or any sort of winter gear. So that's where I'm coming from. Don't be me. Don't do that. But hey, Vinny Smiles. Hello, hello. But yeah, one thing to do at Gen Con in particular is buy at least a couple generic tickets. If you don't know what generic tickets are, they're essentially these like, oh god, they're like little coupons that you can get for $2 each, and you can turn them in for entrance to any paid event across the convention as long as the paid event hasn't sold out yet. So for example, if you and your friends are going to an event and your friends are breaking away from you and they're like, hey, actually, we heard about this thing that we're going to, it's like a miniature painting workshop, like, do you want to come? And you don't have a ticket to the mini painting workshop because you didn't know it was a thing ahead of time, so you didn't buy tickets, you can still go. And then to the bouncer, the guy who's taking everyone's tickets, you just hand him, $12 worth of those $2 coupons, those little generic tickets instead. And that will get you entrance, because as long as it's not like fully full, they'll still let you in and you can still come and sit down and hang with your friends. So it's always good to have those on hand. But yeah. Notster says a date on a Thursday. Crazy talk. A date? Did I say I'm late for a date? I'm going to a barbecue, if that's what we're talking about. But hello, welcome to the stream, Nodster. Good to see you. But yeah, what else are we talking about? With regards to cons in particular, Saturdays and Sundays are always the most crazy days. Fridays, sometimes, it kind of depends on the con. So, Gen Con, obviously, people fly in usually on Friday, and then they go Saturday and Sunday. Democracy says Freudian slip, it's def a date. It is not a date, hate to say it. Crayhack says, is your arm okay? I don't know what the fuck happened here. It used to be 4 little dots. Oh yeah, you can kind of see. There used to be a 4th dot. Oh, you can kind of see it like here. I don't know what happened. I think they just show up sometimes, honestly. Like, they're suspiciously circular. I don't know. I also stopped taking iron supplements for a little sec, so But yeah, hey Jeff Steele, how's it going? Sorry I'm a little late. I was running around grabbing some last minute supplies for the con. But yeah, if you guys have any con experience, let me know. Tell me how it's different. Tell me how it's the same. Tabletop cons in particular are always so interesting because you buy so many games and then you don't know what to do with them. Um, Democracy Shredder says mysterious bruises are a thing. If you aren't worried, I'm not. Yeah, once, like, if they're normal color bruises, I stop worrying. When they become like the kind that have layers that look like a bullseye, that's when I'm a little concerned. But I've had them so often. I'll just blink or look at a piece of corner of a furniture and get a bruise, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so it's just really hard to go to a tabletop gaming convention because if you buy board games, which I buy so many board games because business expense, you don't really have anywhere to put them, and you often have to shove them into your luggage. But it's not usually doable. Like, I'm at Gen Con for a week, so I have my entire suitcase full of clothes and things like that. Meanwhile, you know, if I buy a game like Kingdom Death expansions, that's going to be a lot of space that I just don't have. So I either bring an empty suitcase ahead of time if I have that foresight, or, little known fact, a lot of convention centers actually have shipping centers inside them. So you can go and get the like, basically you can just ship it to you and then have it there for when you get back. Highly recommend that. It's a lot cheaper than carrying on or like packing an extra bit of luggage. I just can't find boxes big enough, so I just usually use luggage as my go-to. Crayhack says, what's the sustainability as a tabletop gaming creator? Like environmental sustainability or content sustainability? So yeah, you're talking about the Saturday panel, I think. It's called Can't Eat Exposure, and basically it's like sustainability as a content creator when it comes to staying a content creator and actually making money off of it in a way that people, you know, how realistic it is. And I will say that is particularly interesting as a panel because it's like 90% Q&A. It's not just us talking about our personal experiences, but we are taking questions from a Discord ahead of time. I think it's the Infinite Stories Discord, and those are the questions that will guide the conversation. So you won't really hear from us directly. It's not going to be one of those panels where we sit and we all get asked a question, we go down the line answering about our personal experiences. Fuck that. That doesn't really matter to a lot of people. So instead, we're asking you guys what you want to hear, and then we'll talk about it. So yeah, it's talking about like being able to make content for a long time, how to cross-post, how to create a media kit, things like that are like the questions I'm hoping people ask. How to negotiate when it comes to like, you know, standing up for yourself when it comes to your rates, and also knowing that you're working with a lot of small businesses in the field and not everyone can match your rates. God, if I had $1 for the amount of times that I've talked to a company and been like, hey, this is my rate, and they're like, that's so great. We are like a 2-person small business that's just starting. Can you come down to this? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I can, for like extremely particular cases. So like staying realistic when it comes to that as well. I know someone who once charged Start Playing like $2,000 for a video post, and their content, their channels are smaller than mine. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And they were like, yeah, like you got to know your worth. And then they never got asked to do a video for Start Playing again. So so much for that. Anyway, that's what that panel's about. I'm really excited for it. It is only half an hour, so I do hope we get to like actually cover everything in that time. But you know, fingers crossed. Worst case scenario, I always like to post up outside the con, the little areas, and kind of answer questions as well. So that's always good. Vinny Smile says, dude, at this point, I will wake up and be like, where'd that scratch come from? Oh, that bruise is new, or like, why do I have a burn mark? Burn marks are new. That I can't speak to. God, I don't think... Oh, I feel like as soon as you get a burn mark... I remember when I worked at a Qdoba in college. Oh my god, I had so many burn marks just perpetually from the fryer. Holy shit. But Bookworm Rosa, hi, saying, I love your hair. Thank you. It's new. It's fresh as of today. That's why it looks so healthy. It's not usually this healthy. I also got what they call a glaze, which is where... It's like where they kind of like, I guess, just make it shinier and make it look a lot more healthy than it actually is. But still... Vinny Smile says, kitchen work, it happens. Yeah, oh my gosh. I only worked one, like, kind of fast foodish job when I was in college, and that was enough. That was enough to teach me a lesson. But yeah. Bookworm says, it makes me think of Rogue from X-Men. I get that a lot. Doesn't Rogue have, like, a bunch of different iterations of her hair, too? I thought she also does she have, like, 2 little strands of white, or is it just 1? Because I've heard a couple different things. But Nazra says the hair is looking very healthy. Thank you. It's because I wasn't allowed to touch it for the last 3 hours, and someone else stepped in and actually made it look good. Forgive me for a quick sec. I'm going to have to stop talking while I do my like eyeliner, because if I talk and do my eyeliner at the same time, I don't know why, I just can't focus and do it right. This is the pair. It's gonna, you guys are gonna see me like draw a bunch of squiggles here in a sec. Hold on. Oh. I also am not used to doing it at this angle. I also think there's glue still on my eyelashes from the last time I tried to curl them at home, which, by the way, don't do that. Very bad idea. Let's see. Raven Idris says your eyes are very beautiful. Thank you. And also Bookworm says, what's a tip you can give to someone going into college or university soon? Ooh. Okay, there's going to be 3 questions that you're going to get asked all the time. It's what's your name, where are you from, and what's your major? Some people, depending on what your major is, are going to come up and ask you why you want to choose that major. Try and have an answer that's like at least a little bit funny or interesting, because everyone has the same answer as to why they want to go into nursing school, right? And also what you want to be when you grow up. It's okay to say you don't know yet, but if you say you don't know yet, say what you're doing now. So for example, if you're like, oh, I'm still discovering why I want to be in this field, but right now I'm working in a lab. That's a healthier answer. But yeah. And then Vinny Smile says, I don't know, the red hair with the green has always screamed, oh, she's a druid to me personally. Yeah, I like that vibe. DBC also says, Rogue has a lot of iteration, but most of them have the white hair that frames their face. Oh, I thought it was just one strip. Oh. Bookworm Rosa also says, thank you so much. Dude, I have so many more tips. It's been forever since I've been in college. Another thing that you can do is keep an eye out for when certain events with free food are happening around campus. You can keep an eye on club newsletters, on different, like, you know, back when I was in college, Twitter was still a thing. So, like, I would look at Twitter accounts for different college clubs and things like that and see when they were meeting for little potlucks. And then if they get those potlucks catered, sometimes you can go in afterwards and get free food from them, or you can join clubs specifically for the purpose of all their potlucks and things like that. Like, I did so much for free food when I was in college. Oh, it wasn't even because I was necessarily like poor. I was pretty poor. I still went to like the food bank and things like that when I was in college, but like, which had the best granola ever, by the way. So if you qualify, take advantage of it. It's so much better than you think. Not just canned food. It's like granola, it's like cuts of meat, it's like veggies, you know, things like that. What else? What was I gonna say? But yeah, I just mostly wanted variety, because like you get very sick of the food hall food. Also, go to food halls that are not on your side of campus every once in a while. Get your friends together and have a little excursion. Pretend like you're going out to a restaurant. That's always fun. It's also worth asking professors what their field is and asking them straight up if they're taking volunteers, especially in your freshman year. If you're on campus anyway, it really can't hurt to volunteer at a lab and get that like experience ahead of time. People love that. Luke is here saying, spend 2 hours in the garden after work. It's 98 plus heat index. Hello, bonus stream. Hi! I got your package today. I don't have it on stream, but thank you so much. I'm going to send you a message afterwards once I'm done running around for the day, because I've been holding this eyeliner for like 2 minutes trying to get it on. Hold on. Let me do the little thing. Oh my god, it dried. It dried in the time that I was sitting here waving it around. Hold on. But yeah, I'm running around doing a lot today, but I'll message you afterwards. Bookworm Rosa says, I want to go into film. Ooh, okay. Solid. I would also, if you're going into film, try and take you probably have it as part of your required curriculum, but also take women and gender studies classes. That will give you a very solid like cross-section or a cross study of how film interacts and media in general interacts with feminism, but is also going to help you avoid some pitfalls when it comes to essentially like not great themes and highlighting them in film, and instead going into how film can be improved or good themes in film. It'll help you with a critical analysis if that helps. Jeff Beller, hello. And Luke says, I'm just proud that USPS was only 1 day late. Hooray. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, let me see here. This eyeliner is not going to look good. I'm going to a barbecue, so it doesn't have to be super fancy. It's mostly older people there too, so I don't want to do like the big wing. You see that? And then this is scary. I'm going to do something that we call tight liner, which is essentially where you go in to like the underside of your lash line and you add eyeliner there, really close to where your lashes are. But yeah, here we are. Okay. And this is where it gets troublesome, because if you blink, then your eyes look like you've gone under demonic possession, which ain't good. Jeff says, I forget you don't recognize me. It's weird you're saving a name. Wait, which Jeff are you? I know a couple Jeffs, and I just never... Oh, I never remember people. I've known so many in my time. Also, Sean, hello. But yeah, we were talking about conventions. There are also a lot of conventions that have apps. I will say, not all of them are good. The the PAX one is really good, PAX Nav, and it adjusts to which PAX you're going to as well. Whereas the one for Gen Con, it's real bad, you guys. Don't do it. But yeah, okay. One quick sec. Yeah. Okay. Come on, don't fuck it up. Don't breathe, don't fuck it up. Ooh, I fucked it up. Close enough. It's fine. Let's see. Sean says, what's your channel about? So, hi, welcome. I talk about whatever the fuck I want, but mostly tabletop gaming. So, yeah, I talk about TTRPGs. If you've ever been the type of person who's potentially interested in things like Dungeons and Dragons, but you're either scared or to get into it or like intimidated by the concept of it, I talk a lot about getting into it for the first time and doing all the crazy shit that they do on like Critical Role, but making it easy. So that's a lot of what I do. I'm also essentially like a streamer. So I'm a Twitch partner, but also I stream on YouTube and TikTok as well. Primarily I'm in short form content though. So let's see. Someone said something about Dragon Con TV. The Gen Con app is still somehow better than the Dragon Con app. Dude, oh. Also, JX says Dragon Con's TV channel was pretty good. How do they still do that? Oh, I actually have not been to Dragon Con. I bought a ticket last year and just never ended up going because I didn't realize that it was the same exact weekend as PAX West. So, let's see. Aha. I fucked it up. That's okay. It's the hardest thing to do while live. Let's see. We have a question from Never Was Cool saying, my favorite content creator question is, did you start with the intention of doing a specific kind of content, or did you post to find out what you're good at? Neither. I just fuck around. So I tell everyone to do this. And this is kind of double-edged advice when it comes to being a content creator. Oh, Siri Brown says I just DM'd for the first time and that your shorts helped a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad that they helped. Yeah, and also if anyone ever needs more advice, let me know. I'm running out of shorts ideas when it comes to the advice front, which is why I'm mostly just doing bullshit, like funny stuff. I'll try and do some more with regards to horror, because I know a lot of people really ask for like horror advice, especially as we come up on Halloween and things like that. But like I was saying, with regards to content, the majority of what I do is tabletop content, but that's because it's really easy for me to make, right? Like I'm not going to force myself to make it if I ever start running out of ideas. Instead, I'll just switch subjects, which is a good perspective to have. If you see like skit content creators, for example, they usually start lowering the amount of content that they do, or they just fully quit or drop off the radar after a while, not just because the algorithm is pushing them off, or because they're posting at weird times or they go off the deep end, but also because different content creators, especially with the skit space, start to run out of ideas and they start to get burned out. And if you do the same thing over and over again, congrats, that's a free fall towards burnout. It also makes it really hard for sponsors to work with you, because if you work within one specific niche and that niche isn't inherently super broad or doesn't have a large audience, then already you're kind of capping yourself as far as like what you can do. This is how I do Freckles, by the way, as far as like what you can do in the space for them and what they can do for you, right? Like you have a maximum audience size from the get-go if you choose a really small niche. And I hate to say it, but tabletop gaming is a pretty capped niche. Like there's a lot of people who are into it and a lot of people who are curious about it, and I'm trying to get more people into it. But at the same time, like you see the same people over and over again if you go to conventions, and you see the same businesses over and over again if you go to conventions and things like that. So just keep in mind, doing one thing and doing it well isn't necessarily the key to long-term success as a content creator. Instead, you've got to have a good personality and actually show it off in your content, which is another problem I have with skit creation in particular, is like people don't show their personality, which means if you ever stop doing skits or you ever stop doing anything on a particular platform or what people know you for, they are going to punish the shit out of that video. So it's always good to just be good at a bunch of different things, and that's why I post comedy and random little like bits and pieces, life hacks. The entire saga of how I got sterilized has been really like one of my most popular videos of all time. I think out of the fucking 15 to 20 times that I've gone viral, only maybe one or two of them has actually been for D&D related stuff, and that's kind of how I like it, and that's how the internet likes it when we get into more of a short form space, you know? When you watch a long form content creator, you expect them to do the same thing over and over, right? Like, you watch your PewDiePies, your Jacksepticeye's, your Markipliers, and you expect them to do gaming content, which is fine. But they don't always want to do gaming content for forever. And when you watch short form stuff, you're not watching for a particular creator, you're watching for a particular type of content, which means that if you make just whatever you want, eventually it'll find the right people. So, yeah. Let's see, showing off the condiments in your fridge. Oh my god. I have to do a proper house tour at some point on these streams, but... Blarick says, oh my god, the freckles are fake, my worldview is shattered. Yeah, so what I do, sorry, I didn't show any of this. So this is an old contour powder, and it's not my color, it's nutmeg. As you can tell, I'm not that dark brown skinned, but I bought it so that way I could spray setting spray, or you can use water, but setting spray is easier and it makes them last a little bit longer, onto it to make it kind of wet. And then once it's wet, I just dap around a old fan brush, this is called a fan brush, into it. And then I just kind of flex these little, I want to call them tines, but it's really like dirty groupings of of fan brush together, and I make them roughly circular and not so much a line. If I do a line, you're gonna notice that it's just freckles stamped on in lines. So I just do a little there we go, like a little U shape or something like that, and then I tap them on, and then I tap them out to make them a little bit more muted. Because in real life, not so much on camera, if I just leave them on at first tap, it looks really dark and it leaves a lot of product behind that I don't want on there. So I do a little tappy tap and that makes it look more realistic. So yeah, Vinny says it matches the hair, so it works. Thank you. Yeah, the hair is, in the sun, it looks a lot more red, which is nice. But Perry Fan says, oh man, I had to hop out for a minute. Did I miss the fridge? The fridge is not, here's the thing, it's not all condiments like it used to be. However, it is currently a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and a lot of ciders, because the cider fairy from Avid just stopped by yesterday. So, but yeah, Luke says, showing stream places they've never seen before inside the fridge. You guys saw one fucking frame of the inside of my fridge one time. It's an old video from Thanksgiving of last year, that whole kind of fallish. And I got roasted for it in my own Discord, where you guys were telling me that I just had sauces. It's better now, I swear. But yeah, I think that's enough freckles for now. But yeah, this is the look, the almost final look. I do have you might be able to see a little bit of there's a little bit of random mascara scattered around that I don't like, that I'm gonna clean up in a sec, but still. Let's see. Jess is not now fridge tour yet. We need to catch up on her fridge condition. Oh my god. Also, Daydreamer, hey, how's it going? And then Charles says, hey, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing well. Nasu says 2 condiment jars, some overnight oats, and last night's takeout. It's like last week's takeout. I have Domino's in there, because I saw they were doing this deal where you could get up to 7 toppings on a pizza for $10, and I was like, oh, I could get all of the cheeses. I could live my dream of having every cheese known to man on a pizza, and then have it look like that one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles scene with the really stretchy cheese. It didn't do that. It didn't do that at all. Matt says you're too sweet, and with the cutest little emoji ever. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I am planning on upping these streams, by the way. I just need to be out of con season and on the other side of Gen Con first. But hopefully I'll be able to do some more streaming. At the very least, some members only streams as well. So Cash says, oh my god, Dana just called me Cash. I don't know why here my government name makes me cringe. I'm sorry, Cash. But yeah, I do remember that you particularly started that bit. How dare you? Do you guys want to see something cool and entirely random? Did we have any more questions, by the way? Oh yeah, BJ Hale says, Diana, quick question. What non-RPG book or books are you reading these days? Shitty, sad poetry books. Yeah, I have a whole, I don't read a lot of poetry. I'm not a poetry girly, but one of the little bits of poetry that I do read are books like Diary of a Romantica, or, oh my god, what is it called? Fuck. It's like those sad little bits of poetry that you see on TikTok where it's breakup poetry. And I don't know why. I just really like it. Where it's oh, maybe in another life, and it doesn't rhyme. It's not extensive. It's 3 sentences at most, or things like that. But it's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, Never Was Cool says, I love the Domino's pan pizza with garlic sauce, spinach, sausage, and extra cheese. Dude, spinach and feta and their white sauce. And fuck, what was the meat on it? I think it was Philly cheesesteak. Elite combo. I know exactly where you're coming from, and the garlic sauce is so good. Luke says, it took me until today to figure out how to add my nickname to the YouTube stream. Yeah, I will not recognize you, by the way. But also Matt says, hi, I love your shorts, got D&D tonight. Congrats on the upcoming D&D sesh. I hope it goes well. I hope you guys don't die. But yeah, that would be what I'm... Oh, Rise Together says 3-sentence poems. Haiku. It's not haiku. It's, It's I used to know the names of them. I could recall like 7 of them. I have so many sitting on a bookshelf, a separate bookshelf. The office bookshelf is business only. It's all like tabletop games. You guys can, have you ever seen this, by the way? Hold on, let me show you the actual bookshelf. So this is all of my tabletop games. I have 2 copies of the Electric State. I might do a giveaway for the other one at some point. There's a jawbone from a suckling pig that is, I cleaned it myself and ate the pig. I didn't catch it though. It was part of like a birthday thing. That glows in the dark, which is pretty cool. I have all of the Memento Mori games, Vaesen, Symbaroum, D&D, of course. As we get down here, we get into like games that aren't D&D, and then back to D&D supplements. And then at the bottom is all D&D stuff. But over here are the King Death miniatures that I don't have to get to show off. Someone gave me a little purple worm as well. There's a Lego Mimic that was DB. And then a little Mimic dice holder as well at the base. This guy's pretty cool. I built him on a little while ago. I forget, was it on stream? I don't think it was on stream. This is for Kingdom Death. He's actually got, you can see, like a little face hidden in there. It's really cool. I love Kingdom Death stuff. This stuff is great. But yeah, that's my shelf. There's the bone again. So, there's the tour. But yeah. Let's see. Dalro says that YouTube decided to show this to me right at the word garlic sauce, and I couldn't be more intrigued. Welcome to the stream. The amount of times we talk about food is insane, even on a little 30-minute detour stream. Luke says, I had 2, but I'm lazy. I don't care. Diane has my address, so I'm exposed. Oh, wait, I had 2 what? Oh, no. 2 accounts? True. I do have your address, actually, now. But yeah. Perry Fan says, big up poetry is my shit. And Arcana says Diarrhea Romantica. Diary of a Romantica. It's like a little bit in Spanish as well. But let's see. Charles says awesome bookshelf. Thank you. Yeah, it's not too bad. The plants are actually staying alive, which is insane. I didn't expect them to live, but they're actually growing a little bit, which is a wild concept. This guy's been barely hanging on for a while now. There's one down here that just doesn't get any light, and so I'm pretty sure it's staying alive out of spite. The only thing is I have a really tall carpet. Look. Yeah, this guy. It's like kind of alive, kind of not. You can see a couple newish leaves, but they're not doing too hot. Like this one is basically not green at all. It's all just like a yellow color. You see that? Which means that it's not going to get any photosynthesis in. I should probably move it to the sun, but I don't know. I don't want to scare it. You know, it's become used to the darkness. It's like opening the curtain of a teenage boy's bedroom. Can't do that. Let's see. BJ Hale says, I wouldn't have predicted poetry. Given your background, I was expecting some dense nonfiction. I used to read nonfiction back in the day, but I just don't have the time. So short poetry is something that I can read on a plane and then just sit and stare out the window and contemplate. But when it comes to nonfiction, I don't have the time. Usually if I have to read dense paragraphs of something, it's because I'm studying a tabletop game. I've got a couple that I need to learn here. Someone also asked what kind of mushroom is it? This guy is something that I got in Austin, Texas, at a random little festival that was like a pop-up artisan fair outside of, I think, their arboretum. And this is a series of random mushrooms. I don't know what kind they're based off of. It might just be a little clay thing. It is openable. I can open it. But they glow in the dark. So if I set them out in the sun, they can charge a little bit and they glow green, which is quite nice. But yeah. Natsu says, drop a leaf if you're being held against your will, Mr. Plant. You don't know that plant. How dare you assume that plant's gender, first of all. But yeah, let's see. Icy Mitch says your plants are under shades. No, yeah, like it's pretty bad that they're covered on both sides by books. It's even worse that I just leave my chair like this, fully blocking it off from the light. Whoops. Also, Sean says, where's your money tree? I actually don't have a money tree. I feel like I should. They're pretty easy, right? But I don't know. Natsu says those mushrooms are cute as heck. Yeah, they're not too bad. JLX says it's 2025, the plant could be Mr. Plant regardless of gender. Thank you. And also, Vinny says, I generally prefer short stories to full-blown books. There's generally more love and care in them. Yeah, definitely. And especially because, like, you're not, if you have a short story idea, you're not forced to length it out to the length of a full novel and come up with all this shit that you might not enjoy, or come up with like long-term ramifications of what you think is a really artistic sentence, things like that. Cash Cow is back, having fixed their name. Amazing job. But yeah, and Perry Pants says Mr. is just their first name, SMH. All right, I gotta get going. It was lovely talking to you guys as always. Thanks for letting me do my makeup on camera as well. It's not easy. I don't think I'll do it again. But now you guys get to see the way that the freckles work. I'm gonna kind of rub them out throughout the day to get them a little bit more faded, because again, I'm going to a barbecue and there's a lot of people a lot older than me, and I don't want to scare them with the fake freckles. So TR says for sale, baby shoes never worn. Oh yeah, the shortest, what is it? The saddest 3-word short story or something like that. But anyway, I gotta skedaddle. Thank you guys so much for being here again. I am gonna supposedly, allegedly, have a stream Monday. It depends on how Gen Con prep goes. I'm gonna do my best. I do also have to make and prepare several characters for the actual plays I'm doing at Gen Con, so fingers crossed. But worst case scenario, we'll pop in, we'll have a body doubling stream. So that's Monday at 5 o'clock Pacific, both here and on Twitch, and on TikTok, technically, but TikTok is really hard to see, so I definitely recommend here or Twitch. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys on, oh my god, it'll be Monday. Yeah, Monday. Oh, crazy. Bye-bye.